The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 228. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on today. She is a photographer and also a visual artist, and I'm just excited to have her on and share her story with us. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Melly Lee. Melly, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me today. Yeah, like you said, my name is Melly. I'm a photographer, and I'm currently evolving in some different mediums, such as doing video and GIF animations. And I guess my specialties include photographing people with exploring the outside world.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Melly, what's your cultural background?
I am a Chinese American.
Thanks for sharing that. And Melly, what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite self-confidence quote. I'm not sure it's quite self-confidence, but there's like a little Latin phrase that I kind of been using as my mantra for the last few years, and it's memento mori, which is essentially like, it's just a reminder that we are mortal and we're all going to die eventually. The reason why it kind of gives me a boost is because I got stuck in an apartment one time during Hurricane Sandy in New York. And at that time, my friend who was letting me crash at his apartment, he was out of town for business and he just moved to New York. So the apartment was completely bare and there was no furniture. There was no like any utensils or anything to like store water. So like I had like a good like solid like 5 days of just being alone. And like in that empty apartment while it's like pouring buckets of rain outside. So I like just to pass time, I was like reading a bunch of comic books that I picked up a couple days before. And in one of the comics, I saw a line memento mori, and the main character, he was like telling his grandson that like the moment that you accept that you'll die is the moment that you'll start living. So after I got out of that situation, I kind of like took that to heart and like came back to LA, and my idea was like, okay, if I'm going to any moment I can possibly die, then every single day of my life, I'm going to try to live.
Awesome, and that's a great quote. I mean, just the fact that people don't realize how short life is, and there's a lot of people out there who are kind of like the walking dead, walking aimlessly, like a zombie, not realizing that life can just pass them at any moment. And, sometimes I have to take something like that Latin phrase and just go out there and just do something courageous, do something that you were meant to do. So I love that. I think it's great. And, in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
I think self-confidence is just being comfortable in your own skin and being unapologetically who you are.
I like that. I mean, especially being, women of Asian descent, like we're so great at, apologizing for things. We apologize for things that we don't even know what we're sorry for. It's just because we're so used to it. And, especially being ourselves, right? It's like, it's such a bad thing if we're our true authentic self, which isn't. I mean, we are here for a reason, for a purpose. And, I always believe true freedom is just going out there and living your authentic life. And so I really like that definition that you had. And what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
I think I was just a lot more conservative and a lot more cautious. Like, if just like in everyday decisions, I would always take the safe route. Like, I would always take the decision that I knew would yield a result that was safe, was predictable, but I knew it was, I knew it was okay. It was very comfortable. And then after my discovery of self-confidence, I think you can especially see in like my photography work, I started doing things where I would just go travel. I would go travel a lot because, like, an example is I've always wanted to visit New Zealand. Like, that's always been been one of my dream places because there's so much diversity and so much different landscapes and plants and animals that are on like one single country. But before my self-discovery, I would just kind of be sitting, waiting around, like, oh, maybe my parents will organize a family trip and I can go then. Like, the idea of like traveling somewhere new by yourself, like that never occurred to me. So like afterwards, after my self-discovery, I'm just like, you know what? I want to go. I have the ability to go, and I have reason to go because, if I go travel, I can create different experiences and I can capture that with my camera. So I'm like, I'm going to go because I can, and because tomorrow I might not be able to. And that's kind of also applied to a lot of different avenues in my life. Like, even when I approach like photographing people. I think before I was very conservative again, like I wouldn't voice my ideas or my ideas or my concepts because I was kind of afraid of getting judged. Like I would be afraid that whoever was photographing, if I had a silly idea, they would think it was dumb, and then judging my idea, they would take it as a judgment upon myself. But now it's like if I have a random idea, I'm like, I just go for it. I'm like, well, here's my idea. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. If not, it's okay. Like if not, just move on to the next. If it's a great idea, great. Then I'm glad I tried it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, just, I think traveling too by yourself gives you like, this experience of knowing yourself on a deeper level, right? And I know sometimes people, when you tell them you're going away by yourself, they're probably like, are you insane? Aren't you afraid? And, sometimes some people stop because they're so afraid of what other people think. Not like you. You just went ahead and did it because you knew you wanted to go. And, it's a great thing that you did. And, what's your life been like after that?
My life has been kind of this like back and forth equilibrium balance of like I'm either here in LA doing the artist hustle, constantly creating content, or I'm balancing that with like going outside again. So like by going outside, I mean like I got like in the last couple of years I've gotten really into backpacking. Kind of, I guess, like if you've seen the movie Wild with Reese Witherspoon, like essentially like just taking a backpack out, looking and reading maps, using good judgment, and then planning trips and going to see and capture amazing things.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, it's great that you're out there, doing your thing, going out and traveling the world. And to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
That one tip, I would just say make small decisions that are genuinely unique to you and are unapologetically you, because all those small decisions in the long run will help to amount to a larger decision.
I like that, making the small decisions, because, a lot of people don't realize sometimes it takes doing the small things to reach to bigger things, right? It's kind of like a ripple effect, right? It just keeps on going. So, I like that you said
absolutely
make small decisions, because that's how we build confidence. We do something small, we accomplish that small thing, and then we get confidence, and we take it to the next level, and that's how we slowly build it. So great stuff. And if our listeners want to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, and maybe see some of your photography work, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yes, my website is mellylee.com. That's MELLYLEE.com. And then I'm constantly blogging about either gear related to photography and travel or the actual photo story on my blog. And that's linked on my main website as well. And then I'm very active on Instagram, and that's at Melly Lee with the underscore at the end.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Melly, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Melly's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Melly for taking the time to share her story with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
It was awesome having you on. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free audiobook by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.